We have another treat for you now. It is the grand finale of everything you've enjoyed today. It's the grand finale of the summit, the annual presentation of the OurCrowd Maimonides Award. Please welcome back for the final time today, the OurCrowd founder and CEO, John Medved.
Okay. It has been an incredible day, except that those who were with us last year when we inaugurated this award know that what's about to come is the highlight, because we are going to celebrate lifetime achievement of two extraordinary men, two great scientists, two great mensches, two people who represent really, in our opinion, as good as it gets, the best. This is what we would like to hold up as an example to all of us in terms of what we would like to achieve. The OurCrowd Maimonides Award is awarded for lifetime achievement in science, leadership, and Menschlichkeit, and would like to announce that the first awardee is Dr. Avraham Baniel, Professor Avraham Baniel. We're going to run a video while he joins us on stage.
Two things inspired my father. The unhappy children in schools, unable to concentrate because they couldn't get their sugar. Understanding that providing sweetness the right way, in the right quantities, is providing happiness.
During the British Mandate, sugar was precious. I exercised way to have sweet that I had from the British Mandate.
Years later, when he realized that the Splenda didn't make it to children, they refused to consume products with it because of the aftertaste. Then he married the Monday days with the rationing of the sugar and the modern time with artificial sweeteners, and he said, I have to come to enhance the sweetness of sugars. We founded the company when my father was 95. I was 68. The courage to do that came from our friends in Schloss that told us sugar and salt are the two biggest problems in food and beverage. If you can solve the one or the other, certainly if you can solve both, you're kings.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Avraham Baniel, age 100.
Raphael Mechoulam.
I asked my father to prepare some words, but he told me he's too moved to say it, so I will try and say some words from a son to a father. My father says, even today, I operate under the assumption that I am eternal until somebody proves me wrong. The man, Avraham, was called one day by Weizmann, not the institute, the president, the first president of Israel, that told him, this might be called the land of milk and honey, but by God there's little milk and hardly any honey and nothing else. Please try and find something we might do in this place. And this young man started in the King Solomon mines to make copper and invented round copper, then went on to the Dead Sea and invented a round bromide. Then in Haifa, he invented the technologies of Haifa chemicals, fertilizers, phosphoric acid. Even today, in almost everything you eat or drink, there's citric acid, and more than 56% of the citric acid in the world is made using this young man's patents. So, if I had to say, in our name, a team of DouxMatok, to you, my father, is just one word. Thank you for sharing with us the opportunity to make healthy, sweet choices. Thank you because through what you've done, you have made yourself eternal. Thank you all. This John is incredible. This guy is a show business by himself.
We didn't plan it this way, but this year we felt we had to make 2 awards because there are 2 extraordinary people who deserved recognition. You met the first, now please meet the second. Professor Raphael Mechoulam, the synthesizer of THC and the world's most renowned researcher in cannabis from the Hebrew University. Raphael Mechoulam, please run the video.
Thank you. Raphael Mechoulam is a chemist, and he became interested in marijuana in the 1960s.
Morphine had been isolated from opium in the 19th century, early 19th century. Cocaine had been isolated from coca leaves mid-19th century, and here we were, mid-20th century, and yet the chemistry of cannabis was not known. So it looked like an interesting project.
But not an easy one. You see, here, like everywhere else, marijuana was illegal.
So how did you get the marijuana for your work?
We got our material from the police. I just went to the police. I went over and took 5 kilos of hashish. And I didn't have a car at that time. I was in the bus carrying 5 kilos of hashish with people were just saying it's kind of a strange smell. We tested that in a few volunteers, including ourselves.
It might seem like a simple experiment, but the results were revolutionary.
They were the first to isolate THC and CBD decades ago.
2 ingredients in marijuana that might have powerful abilities to treat disease. In Israel today, marijuana is an accepted part of medical care for pain, for cancer patients, for sleep problems, epilepsy, digestive problems. They're even looking at Parkinson's and Tourette's.
That's a pretty long list.
Well, and the list is expanding.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Raphael Mechoulam, this year's Maimonides Award winner. Professor Mechoulam, please, some words.
Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of my students, my postdoctoral fellows, and many of my collaborators, I didn't know that I have to say a few words, so allow me to, well, say what we're doing today. It turns out that the cannabis field is not just the plant. It's not the components which were isolated many years ago. But surprisingly, we discovered that we also make compounds that act in the same way. So I sincerely hope that within the next decade, maybe less, we shall have drugs for a variety of diseases based on the compounds, on the constituents of the plant, on the constituents of our own body, the endogenous cannabinoids, and compounds that we make and that are effective in a large number of diseases. And we are working together with 3-4 companies developing these compounds in various fields. So I hope that some of them will be successful and there will be new drugs. Thank you very much.
By the way, I failed to mention that, as you could tell by his discussion, Professor Mechoulam is still busy at work in a very intense way at his laboratory at the Hebrew University, developing things like crazy. He's also 88 years young. You should know.